Jason. Jason ZK. How's it going, man? Jackson. Sorry. Thank you.
Yo, I added you, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. I liked what you were talking about. You talk about a lot of different things. What are you a doctor of again? I forgot.
Microbiology. I'm a
That's
doctor
what
of
I was gonna
science.
say. I was gonna say biology. I thought I was listening, but okay.
Hmm.
So is that like when the word doctor gets thrown around?
Hmm.
So it's like you PhD?
Correct. Yeah, I have a PhD in
Okay.
microbiology. Yeah.
Okay. Total respect.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah, no, absolutely. Where are we at with like I talked? You're not a flat earther, are you?
No. No.
Okay, thank the
No.
world.
Man, you seem scarred. You seem like
No,
broken
dude,
down.
like I can't even argue. I can't even argue with these people. I would love to have you like jump in and whatever. But okay, so we're there.
Uh-huh.
What are the main discussions that you like have arguments on, or like I don't know. It's all is it all about science? Because if it is, I would just like my first question would be, I believe in that there is going to be with AI and kind of think there's been a cure for a lot of things,
Uh-huh.
but do you foresee with like AI specifically bringing a cure to like cancer or other major ailments that would like probably mess up all kinds of money for people in America that like in my opinion like would rather have people sick?
Yeah, so basically AI is that's creating a lot of hypotheses that need to be tested. And it's a good way to generate these hypotheses. We actually went through over this last night, which was, and if you want to check out the YouTube archives, that has all my shows, and we were
Oh, okay.
talking about this. And but basically, AlphaFold is the AI model that's created by Google, and it's been be able to create like hundreds of new potential medicines that can effectively treat and bind to new receptors. So they can take simple proteins and just kind of see how would a protein bind here, or what would you need in order to bind together, two proteins. That kind of idea, and it's awesome. It creates these abilities for these new medicines to be tested, but they still need to be tested inside of a body inside and go through the regulatory, channels and all that kind of stuff. So it's a it's a
I don't want
good.
to cut you off. This is where I
Yeah,
can interject. So,
go
what
ahead.
was the name? What was the name of that AI, or what the company was? Number one. Then number two, do you believe that that's the only company that's leading in that technology, and that like they're on the forefront, and there's not a possibility that other companies are with other AI, because it's like a race to first place right now.
Mhm.
It's pretty much brand new as far as I can see. No, there's really no regulation. It's it's like it's here. We're living in like the spawn of it, if you will.
Yeah.
But is that the only company that you recognize or that you go with?
AlphaFold is by far the best. So that and as we talked about here, it's basically having a huge increase in the amount of citations that you see. So we have like a huge increase in the papers here. So this orange
Have you
line here is.
cross-referenced that with any other AI
There's
companies?
been these are the other ones. So basically, fold users from the other AI models, which is AI Frontier, PP Frontier, SB Frontier, and they've
They all have
increased.
Frontier in the front of the name.
Yeah,
That sounds a little suspicious.
it's specifically AlphaFold that really dominates everything else, because it's not just like an LLM, like a large language model that is used in a
Okay.
lot of these things. We're talking about something that's specifically just made and
Are
created
there any
for
major players in the game that I would know about? Because I know about like
Google.
AskSeek or ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Then you have
Google.
Google.
Hmm.
So why isn't Google on there? Why are they not on the graph to cross-reference their numbers?
My apologies. It's AlphaFold is by Google.
Oh,
It's
okay.
their
See,
deep
okay,
mind.
there we
Yeah,
go. Okay, see, I didn't know that.
it's a
There we
deep
go.
yeah, it's their deep mind neural networking that people use. Yeah.
So Google's leading the way.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so if you would have led with that, that would have told me a lot. Because
Okay.
when you said
Sorry.
alpha like that, that's a disguise for Google almost.
Yeah, it's the
But
DeepMind project. Is it the same as Gemini? So Gemini is their large language model, their LLM. The AlphaFold is different. So it's a neural network, and that's kind of like how it creates. Thank you. How it creates the roadmaps going forward, but it is fundamentally a different thing.
okay, you've answered. Can I move on to something else?
Yeah, yeah, sure, man.
Okay, I'm seeing like I don't know if this is your field. I kind of would think it is. There's a gentleman, he's known to everybody. He's got a lot of followers. It's called Plastiline. It's a African American brother. I don't know what his credentials are, but he is taking all kinds of waste, plastic waste, and converting it into gasoline. But he's calling it
Okay,
plastiline. Is that theoretically possible? Is oh yeah, that gentleman there. Do
cool,
you
dude.
think that we can ever put that on a map? Because we buy these things every day. I don't know
Hmm.
what the waste fields look like, and I don't work those jobs, but I can just imagine all that waste. If we can figure out to how to take this guy's idea,
Hmm.
put it on an epic mass produced scale, like put the greatest minds behind him, the biggest paycheck, and unlimited. I believe, or do you believe? I believe that it's possible that we can scale it on a mass scale. What are your thoughts?
It's basically the problem with a lot of this stuff is the energy needed in order to convert it. So we can do it, and it is possible. It's just not economically feasible in order to actually use it versus gasoline right now. And it's actually for the environment, it's actually worse than just using something that's like a renewable and sustainable product already. So it is good in the fact that you are recycling something. You want to do reduce, reuse, and then recycle. So that is the biggest
So
thing.
is the main thing the energy consumption that you're hinging your like where
Yes,
you're
yeah.
saying it'll never work is the consumption of energy that it would take?
So basically it's about like energy in and energy out in order to make the fuel, right? And then on top of that, that's one thing, and then it's also the amount of carbon that you're taking like from the ground and putting it up into the atmosphere. So in an algae biofuel, right? An algae is taking carbon from the atmosphere, and then it's creating those lipid bonds that then we boil and we combust, thank you, and then put it out back into the air. So that's why it's kind of like seen as carbon neutral, because you're taking one down from the atmosphere and putting one back up. And then, for example, why fossil fuels are so bad is it's taking carbon from the ground and putting it up into the air. So the big question is how much energy is required in order to make a renewable and sustainable fuel, and that's the big problem here. Is that like
Okay,
something
now
like.
that's my follow up, doctor.
Mhm.
So in theory, I'm not a doctor necessarily like you. That's why I'm gonna revert to you. Couldn't we build, in theory, something on an epic scale big enough to harness said energy potentially, in theory, like if we were to feed into that? Because you're saying it's all about energy consumption. Couldn't we divert all of our attention? You know how we have nuclear. I don't even know about the nuclear,
Mhm.
but just something on that scale to if and with that being said, if we did do that, that would kind of offset all these oil companies too. Like I don't think they would want that either. But what are the chances that if we like built something epic, with the on an epic scale to try to harness? In theory, is it
Mhm.
possible? In theory,
Yeah, yeah, we already have the technology too. So, like, we already have, for example, we have the algae capability to make all the fuel in the United States be renewable and sustainable. Like, we have the capability of doing
can you
that.
break? And I've never heard about algae. You're talking about algae from the swamp, from the lakes, from this that algae.
Yeah, so I mean, so basically, fossil fuels are 300, 400 million year old plants and algae. So basically, those
Okay.
are all the plant material has all been pushed down together because of the weight of the earth. And then basically, the plant parts and the oil and the lipids are what actually we use and we burn for fuel inside of our cars. So those bonds, those carbon bonds, those are really long. And basically, actually, the 85, 87, 89 is actually how long the carbon chains are. That's what the octane refers to. And basically, we could make those new carbon bonds from algae as opposed to pulling those carbon bonds from the ground. It just creates new carbon bonds as from the atmosphere as opposed to creating and using existing carbon bonds that were created 300 million years ago. So we have the technology in order for that to be used right now. It's just that we don't do it. It's like an economy of scale problem because we just haven't invested enough into algae in order to make it possible for it to compete. We subsidize oil companies to the tune of like $30 billion a year, and on top of that, it's easy. It's easy for oil companies because their product, the product that they use and they sell, is already made inside the ground. They just need to extract it, right? Versus an algae biofuels, which needs to, we need to buy the fermenter, we need to staff the fermenter, we need to create and feed the algae in order to make more of it. We need to, build the raceway ponds. We need to extract the lipids. Still, it's like there's a lot of more products, a lot more effort that needs to be done in order to make that an actual product.
But before I ask you, like, my next question, before we move on this, but wouldn't it be like theoretically better for the whole like ecosystem, the whole world, if we went into that gentleman's idea with the plastics,
Mm-hmm.
as much as we dispose and we waste of these things, and they're eventually going to do harm, like to the earth. Like, I believe it'll catch up to us eventually. It might not be in our lifetimes, but somebody's going to deal with it.
Yeah, so what basically it's an all of the above approach. That's what's going to happen. Like wind up doing it. There isn't going to be one like amazing technology that creates all of renewable and sustainable technologies. It's about using like dams. Dams are actually just giant batteries, so those are incredible and really good, but they're really bad for the environment. So we have to like use them sparingly where we can. Nuclear is really good for recycling, used waste and creating good energy for when the energy the when the climate's bad or if it's too dense of a population center that can't have a lot of solar and wind turbines for it. It's about using algae biofuels for jet fuel and things like that, which are kind of unique properties to that. So and using electric cars. So because they're so much more efficient than internal combustion engines. So it's just kind of doing them all at the same time and kind of pushing on all doors and seeing what you can actually see. The biggest one though, the biggest real difference maker though right now seems to be wind and solar turbines. So that's what we were talking about last night, and we looked at a graph here. So this is the opportunities that we have as a species in order to tackle some of this stuff. So right here, you can see on basically the bars on the top. We'll zoom in right here. So the bars on the top, the solar and wind, the blue is like free money basically. It's because it's actually cheaper and it's more efficient than the alternative. So we have a ton of options to mitigate the amount of
I would
net
think that would be
emissions.
the obvious one, wouldn't it
Yeah,
be? Like just the sun, right? Right, getting it from the sun.
exactly. Yeah, so you can put solar and wind arrays in there. You can reduce methane. These are all the blue parts, right? Nuclear has some winds because you're replacing coal, right? If you're replacing coal, that's like just really good.
Well, what are your thoughts on nuclear? Just to interject really quickly, like,
Hmm.
are we, in your opinion, be doubling down on that, building bigger nuclear facilities? Because we have like a whole bunch of smaller ones. We
Hmm.
only have a few that are on a large scale, but we have a whole bunch of smaller ones. What are your thoughts on nuclear? Just quickly, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
really throw
No,
you
no,
off.
no. It's a good question. No, but I mean, nuclear has a place at the table. The problem is that it's not renewable. There's small breeder reactors that make it to like 97% efficiency, so that they are very nearly renewable, but they do have some they have some waste, but then there's also
So we
fission.
should continue. We should continue with nuclear in the
Oh
future.
yeah, sure. And there's actually some
Okay.
research going on to it, fission too. So it's like the research going in order to use the same type of reaction that the sun is made of is actually going through like a moment too. So that's kind of cool. So we kind of have to just push on all of these things. There's really no the goal should be to mitigate the harms that humans are doing to the environment. The goal shouldn't be to like have one technology win over the other. That's like that's my thing. When people get really wrapped up into one technology over another, they just we need to the goal should be helping mitigate harm for the environment, not like cheerleading your pet project. That's just that's what where kind of like nuclear enthusiasts and stuff kind of like lose me.
Okay. Can I segue? I'm gonna drop down. I got maybe one or two more.
Okay.
Um, the next one, I guess maybe it could be a lone shot. Maybe I'll say the best for last. This will be kind of a two-way question, so maybe I have three, but this one will tie into another one. First off, do you believe in? I right now, just to remind everybody, we're on Earth. We are in space, everyone. For those that don't know, we're just on the ground level of Earth. But like literally, if I fly you high enough, you will see like we're in space. With that being said, do
Mhm.
you believe that there are other species or other beings besides us that are in on the planet, not on this planet, but in the galaxy or just in the universe? Number one, and then number two, if you do believe that, where do we fit as far as? Because I have one last one to throw my last question, but this last part to this one, where do we fit if you do believe there are other species other than us on like in the galaxy or in this universe? Where do we fit in the future 10, 20, 30 years from now?
So I think for sure that there is life outside of Earth, for sure. And it's just basically the question is whether or not we can find life in our solar system, if we can find life in our galaxy, in the universe. You know what I mean? Those are just three kind of things that are just increasingly rare the closer you get to Earth. I think for sure there is life. I think outside uh, in the universe, right? I
So
would say
not
a hundred
intelligent
percent.
life, not intelligent life.
Well, the question is what is intelligence, and I think that would be really hard for us to wrap our minds around. Like, would we think if we found a dolphin, on another planet, would we consider that to be intelligent? Would we consider a plant to be intelligent? Would we consider yeast or bacteria to be intelligent? And actually, I mean, you would think that in
Okay,
bacteria or yeast
I'll
wouldn't
get
be.
specific.
Uh huh.
I'll get specific as far as we've had several, because this is going to tie into my last question, but I'll save it. But it kind of ties into this with I don't know what you've seen with all the they were called UFOs at one point, now they're called
Mm-hmm.
UAPs. With I don't know what you've seen like as far as your existence and watching footage on whatever or doing whatever due diligence, like trying to or research or whatever you've seen in your eyeballs. With that being said, that type of intelligent life, with all the sightings throughout decades leading up to 2025, leading up to we had September, I believe, the day before the unaliving of that brother that was unfortunately taken out on. It was the day before there was a congressional hearing that showed some stuff that I will leave. That was going to be my last question,
Yeah.
but that type of intelligence. Like I don't know what you've seen, so I know where as a biologist, I know what you're saying as far as life and yeah, that type of life. But I'm talking about something that's above our pay grade that has uh, space. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. That is literally 10 times, 100 times more advanced than what we are right now.
So I don't think that we've seen that personally. Like I don't see evidence of that yet. But like I'm not. maybe they're intelligent enough in order to evade our senses and they're out there, and you know what I mean. I just don't believe in things until I see evidence for them. Like
Okay.
that's just kind of like how I rule. I don't really believe in anything that's supernatural or at until I see evidence for it, which is I think which is fine. I can have my
Have you
mind
done any
changed.
research? Have you done any research on UEPs or like any footage that have come from credible sources, and let alone those just whatever the last and this will be my last question, then I'll drop.
Uh,
There was no this happened a year ago, but they released it September. I think it was September 10th. This is a UEP that was flying. Everybody can look. It's privy for everybody. It's called. All you have to do is search MQ-9 drone. We had an MQ-9 Reaper drone, the baddest drone that we have in our arsenal, strapped with Hellfire missiles equipped to them. We
uh-huh.
had two drones. One was trailing this UEP that was moving at unknown speeds and doing things that no craft on this earth can do. With that being said, we had another Hellfire drone come in that you won't be able to see, but there's a Hellfire missile that's launched. The Hellfire missile strikes this craft. The Hellfire missile, the most powerful missile in our arsenal, literally bounces off this thing. There are three pieces of debris that comes off this craft, and it continues to trail it, and it literally bounces out of our footage. So this is it just got released months ago. Congress and congressional hearing. The next day, Mr. Charlie was unalived. I'm not trying to coincide or anything, but
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people don't know about this. Yeah, a lot of people don't know because America dealt with a major loss the next day, so it got overshadowed. But for those that have never seen it, look up MQ-9 Reaper drone Hellfire missile. You will see, and I'll leave with that. If you haven't seen it, I would implore you to take a look at it because I believe you said you won't see it till you believe it. That's that's some real good solid evidence right there. I believe.
Okay, cool. What was the video called? Let's check it out right now.
Yeah, it's all you have to do is type in MQ-9 drone Hellfire missile.
M
This happened. They just released the footage a few months ago with
MQ-9
this.
Reaper drone.
Yeah, and it happened in Yemen over a year ago. This is just one that they released to the Congress, and I mean, when you guys go look, Congress is baffled. They said, "What the hell
Is
is
there
this?"
actual
And
video from it? It looks like there's
oh
like a
yeah,
bunch of AI.
this is actual military. This is all been on every major news. This is official. No BS. If you could play it for everybody, let everybody see it.
I mean, I see the MQ-9 Reaper drone footage. Is that what you see?
Hellfire missile. Yeah, all you have to
Hellfire.
do is put in
Hellfire
UAP Hellfire missile. You'll have one
UAP.
MQ-9 drone is trailing this thing with the footage,
Okay,
and the
here we
other
go.
MQ-9 comes in and shoots a missile at this thing, and the missile bounces off this thing, and three pieces of
Okay, so
debris
this is it.
off of it. Instead of
Tonight, new
falling down to the
never-before-seen
ground,
video off the coast of
there it is.
Okay.
tracking a glowing orb as it flies over the water. Now watch closely as a different U.S. drone drops a Hellfire missile on that fast-moving orb. The missile appearing to bounce off the object, doing very little damage. The orb then zipping away unfazed. The video from October 2024 shown during a congressional hearing today on unexplained anomalous phenomena. That's the official name for UFOs.
Do you solemnly swear?
Several service members giving their own eyewitness accounts and reacting to that new video.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes.
Yes.
And there are big questions right now. Why was that missile fired? Did that object pose any risk? Or is there any other explanation out there?
I mean, so okay. I mean, that's good that they're investigating it. Do you think that that is going to be like a way that we could figure it out, or do you think that it's like not good enough to investigate?
No. That was from me to you, just because you're, and I love you. You're a doctor of biology, and you're like life on other. And I just wanted to show you something
Cool.
that's on another level.
Nice,
that
dude.
like we're over here like literally in the sandbox, like shooting a slingshot at like what we would have like an F-14, right? Like you know how we have F-14s.
Yeah.
It's literally like we're shooting a slingshot. That's what they have. Like whatever we a Hellfire missile was like a slingshot and it's unbeknownst to anybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave you with that. And doctor, I will come back. I
Cool.
appreciate you, man, and I hope I asked some good questions. And
Yeah.
you're a really good dude, man.
Oh.
Shout out to you, brother.
Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, come back anytime. Okay, I appreciate it. Dude, if you could come back if any of this breaks or there's more info, like, please, you'll let me.
I definitely will. I
All
got
right.
you.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
All
Appreciate
right.
you. Have
Have
a
a
good one.
blessed night, brother.
You too, man.